to another edition of Coach's Corner brought to you by Fats Cafe. I'm your host, Caitlin Grasil, and joining us today from men's and women's tennis is Coach Tam. Thank you for joining us today.
Nice to be here.
You finished off the women's season with 9 wins. You posted a huge shutout over UNCP. How big of a win was that for your team playing shorthanded?
It's I've said this to death, but it's always good to get conference wins. They never come easy. And, in a lot of ways, it was a little bit of a disappointing year, but it was to finish strong like that and get a good conference win. I think it's good for morale. We go into the summer, with that fresh in our mind. So it was good for us.
Playing without Nadine for much of the season, what are your thoughts on your team from this year?
Well, I guess I got to see a lot of people have to step up and play higher than they would otherwise. So, it's kind of a glass half full approach to say this, but they got more experience than they would have otherwise. So that was good. Hopefully, next year with Nadine back in and some good recruiting, if someone had to play 2 or 3 this year, maybe I could get them down to 4 or 5 next year.
Did anyone in particular step up?
Yeah. Olivera Veskovac, she was kind of a 4 or 5 at the beginning. She ended up playing some 2. She got a really good win-loss record. Kayla Calvert, she's done a good job. She stepped it up. I mean, I could just list the roster because they really all have, and even those that kind of struggled in the beginning, towards the end did.
Right, that's all you can ask for when
That's
you
all you
face
can ask
adversity. What are you looking forward to for next season on the women's side?
Attached ACLs. Well, we got the fall. We talked a little off camera about her rehab, or her prehab. I guess it's going well. I just don't know if she's going to be able to really compete in the fall. And a lot of the ladies I had this year were fairly new. And I'm not one to overcoach. So now I actually know a little bit about their game. We can actually work on things. So I'm looking forward to doing that. We compete so much in the spring. If I start messing with people's games, it's not good.
Right.
So basically I drive the bus. So in the fall we don't compete that much, and I can actually try to be a coach.
Shawna Williams ended her career among the best in singles wins, while she and Nadine teamed up for a spot on the career list for doubles victories. What did she mean to the team?
She was great. She stepped up as a leader. I think I may have said this in another one of these interviews, so I hope I'm not being redundant. But she was great for me as a coach because she showed arc, where she was 4 years ago versus where she is now. It's just worlds apart. And that, I haven't brought home any national titles yet, so it's those kind of things that make the job great for me. So
it's rewarding.
It is. So that's made a lot to me.
That's awesome. Sabrina Tam also concluded her senior season. What are your thoughts on her career and what she meant to the team?
Well, Sabrina, I went to, a couple years ago, we had some injuries and we were in trouble and I needed somebody from on campus. I knew of Sabrina. I don't know how I knew Sabrina. I guess she's from Macon. So I sought her out and she played. The next year, I had a big roster and I let her go. Thanks for helping, but then the wheels fell off and I needed her again. And she could have easily told me to take a hike, and she didn't. She was gracious. She came back, and she played great. She got 2 conference wins, which is, the Peach Belt's no joke for tennis. And as a walk-on, she won twice. She's become very consistent. She's competing better, and hopefully she's enjoying it. And I'm thankful she came back. I mean, if I was her, I probably would have told her to take a walk, seriously.
She showed great character, I feel
did.
coming back.
And she is a character.
You recently won 2 of 3 on the men's side to close out the regular season. How big was that for your team?
Well, we're waiting to see. It put us into contention, for postseason. I had it figured out that we were in. But it comes down to, I guess, how you define the regulations. They're a little gray, so we're waiting right now to find out if we're in. Same as with the women, so it was good to finish strong. If it is the end of the season, at least we can look back and say we shut out the team in our last match.
Right. So you finished the regular season with the shutout of Flagler. Was that what you expected?
Well, kind of. and only because they came up here to play a while ago. They got caught in all this rain. They've been living out of a van, basically. Not literally, but driving around in hotels. And they played Francis Marion, a really long 5-4 match that they just lost. And then they hustled over here to play us because they didn't want to come back up here later because their season was over. Mm-hmm. So they got off the bus like emotionally and physically dead. So if we didn't win that match, we would never win the match. So we were playing for everything. They were playing for nothing. So it did go the way I thought it would. But they're a great team. At full strength, it wouldn't be like that.
Right.
But it looks good on paper, huh?
Right. You'll take what you can
get.
get.
Yeah, sure.
Who was your most improved player on the men's side?
Wow. Can you edit out thinking? Well, I don't know. I don't know if anyone really dropped off or improved a lot throughout the year. I would say overall I would give it to our doubles. I know that's not a person. But really what kept us back all year was our doubles wasn't very good, which is pretty common. You don't play a lot of doubles in juniors, and we had a lot of guys that just got here. Our doubles as an entity is what improved the most.
Okay. This may be another loaded question, but which men's tennis player surprised you the most? Maybe exceeded your expectations.
I'd say Matthias Desjardins. The French rating system is very good, and you generally know exactly what you're getting. Mm-hmm. And he was a guy that, based on his rating, I would look at. Mm-hmm. But maybe he'd be a 6, and maybe he'd be a 7 based on the rating. But he's much, much better than his rating. And actually, upon getting here, his rating went up like another level. Just whatever. I don't read French all that well. And he had a great record. I don't know what it was exactly, but he had one of the best records on the team. And, next year he could play, probably top 3, and not at all what I was expecting. So I guess I would go with him.
Awesome. So what have your seniors meant to the team on the men's side?
Well, Ronan's been a guy that's always there in doubles. He's not really competing for a single spot, which is good in a way. It means he can just focus on doubles, and no one else does that. So it's good to have a specialist. He's like a special teams guy that way. Andy, he was our captain this year. Very, very smart guy. He brings kind of an academic angle to things. I think he was his department's student of the year. And he brings maturity. He played at a big D1 school. He transferred here from Wisconsin. So he's done the whole D1 thing. He came here, and he adjusted to this, and he'll report he likes us better. So he can kind of pass that on to maybe some of the players that are wondering what they're missing.
Right.
And he's telling them, not much. It's pretty good here.
Well, that's great. Thank you so much for joining us today, Coach.
Thank you.
That wraps up another edition of Coach's Corner, brought to you by Fats Cafe with Coach John. I'm your host, Caitlin Gracillo. Thank you for watching.